Hi everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet, and today we are going to learn how to make the scrubby cloth. The scrubby cloth is my own design, and while it is made with basic crochet stitches and techniques, it creates a very durable cloth, a great cloth for washing dishes or cleaning other items around the house. So before we get started, we'll gather our materials together. For this project, you are going to need about 33 yards of Red Heart Scrubby yarn, about 33 yards of your favorite worsted weight crochet cotton, a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle for weaving in ends, and a copy of the crochet pattern. The pattern can be found for free on my blog at www.richtexturescrochet.com. Now that we have all of our materials together, we will begin. Now to work this pattern, what you are required to do is to take your one strand of worsted weight cotton along with one strand of scrubby cotton, and you're going to work holding the two of them together. So you're going to work as though these two different yarns would be one yarn. Okay, the first thing the pattern asks us to do is to make our slip knot and then to chain 17 chains. Let's make our slip knot. How about for those of you who might not be familiar, to make a slip knot, what you're going to do is I simply take my yarn, form like a U, I then cross it over, and then I reach through that loop and I grab the long working yarn and pull it up through. That is how I make my slip knot, in case you're wondering. Okay, so now that we have our slip knot, we are going to chain 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So now that we have our 17 chains, we are going to begin with our foundation row of single crochets. So we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And when we begin, we are always going to be working in these back loops along the chain. So we are going to single crochet in that second loop from the hook. Now when you first start to work with this yarn, you may find it a little tricky. It has a lot of these little hairs kind of flying off in every direction, but be patient as you work with it. It does get a little easier. Because I have paired it up with the cotton yarn, you will find that the stitches are a lot easier to see and a lot easier to work with than if you were just working with the scrubby cotton or the scrubby yarn alone. It is possible to work with it. It just takes a little bit of time getting used to it. Okay, so we've done our first single crochet in that second chain from the hook, and we are going to continue and single crochet all the way across. So there's one. We're going to just continue working in those back loops of our chain. All the way across. Make sure that you always grab onto both strands of yarn and pull both through. You can see mine kind of slipping there every once in a while. Just go back and correct if it happens. Almost down to the end here. There And one last chain there. Oops. Now when you are finished, you will have 16 single crochets along that chain 17. Okay. Then all we are going to do is we are going to chain one. This is going to be our turning chain, and it will not count as a stitch. It's simply our turning chain. So we chain one. We're going to turn our work so that we're working in the other direction, and we are simply going to single crochet all the way across. So single crochet in that first stitch, being careful not to skip it because we want to have nice and straight and even edges, and then you're just going to single crochet all the way across. Because of the simplicity of this pattern, if you are looking for a great item to include in gifts, whether it be Christmas gifts or otherwise, or to make for craft fairs, these are excellent candidates. You will see when you're finished, you'll just love the texture of this cloth. And one more single crochet in my final stitch there. And now I have done 2 rows of single crochets. Now the great thing about this pattern, the other great thing, is that it doesn't get any harder than that. So this is all you're going to do for row 3 all the way to row 16. You are just going to continue doing rows of single crochet. So chain 1, turn, and then single crochet all the way back across. And that's all you're going to do. Continue to single crochet 16 rows. By the time you're finished, your cloth should measure, as long as you have the same gauge as I do, it should measure about 6 by 5.5 inches. Okay, so why don't you continue working on that, and when you are finished, come back here and I will show you how we will fasten off. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, I'm just finishing up here on my 16th row of single crochets all the way across. So I've come back to my final stitch. I'm going to pull it through. Now in order to fasten off, and I can see I haven't left much space here, but in order to fasten off, you're going to finish off that single crochet, and then you're simply going to pull your yarn through that loop and pull it up and through and just pull it tight, which will kind of secure it there for you. And then you will cut your yarn, and then we are simply going to take our yarn needle, we're going to thread it through, and we are going to just go back through and weave in it in the end. Now again, because of the scrubby cotton, sometimes it catches a little bit. Just kind of play with it and wiggle your needle through there, and it should work. Although it does get caught, it does hide your yarn quite well. Now mine is quite stuck here. There we go. Okay, so you're just going to pull it through. Got it wrapped around my yarn needle. One of the hazards. There we go. And then take your pair of scissors and trim off your end. So there you have it. This is your scrubby cloth. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these with me. Red Heart Scrubby has a lot of different colors, so depending on your own personal color preferences or home decor, there's lots of colors to work with, so you'll find something that you like. Okay, thank you so much again for joining me on this tutorial on how to make the Crochet Scrubby cloth. Be sure to follow me here and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can check out my Facebook page, Rich Textures Crochet on Facebook. Find me on Instagram, and then of course on my blog at www.richtexturescrochet.com. Thank you for joining me. Bye. Happy crocheting.